Good morning. It's cold out. I'm here with my puppy and my blanket and my cup of coffee. Mm. And I'm here with all of you. Well, all five of you. But good morning, sunshines. Today's readings, actually, since I've been doing this for you all, it's got me to realize that the Easter season is all about God trying to convince us that He's God, which is interesting. And I remember a movie. It was an old movie a long time ago. And Steve Martin had lost his wife. And he had this big portrait of her sitting on the wall. And he was a wealthy man. And he met this woman who he was going to remarry. And she really wasn't interested in him at all. Not like his first wife, who he loved. And he kept sitting there and looking at the picture of his wife and going, if there's any reason I shouldn't marry this woman, let me know. And, all of a sudden, like, the candles start to shake and the wind blows and you hear, woo, and it pauses. And he says, any reason at all I shouldn't marry this woman, let me know now. And then, everything starts to shake a little bit more and a little more wind and louder noises. And then we pause. And then he says, seriously, a sign, any kind of sign. Any kind of sign. And then the whole house starts shaking and pictures start falling and glass starts breaking. And then pause. And he goes, okay, then, well, I'll marry her. It was so funny because it was like he kept missing. He kept missing all the obvious answers to this. He kept missing that she was sitting there warning him, saying, no, this woman doesn't like you. She doesn't care about you. No. Nope, he missed it. And it kind of reminds me of us, with Jesus, like people are always, well, scientifically, it's not proven. Well, long before science, there was philosophy. We have history, and for some reason, it's not enough. Our world is older than science. And what we always go on is history. And Paul is sitting there today in the first reading, sitting down at the synagogue, which is very much like us going into our Mass and listening to the prophets and the law, which is very much, again, like our Mass. But then they invite people to come up and speak, and Saul breaks it down from the predictions all the way from the Old Testament. And he wraps up this beautiful, hey, Jesus is the Messiah, and he ties it with a pretty little bow. He goes through and he shows them everything that God promised and everything that God fulfilled, and it is all through Jesus Christ. Then you go to the gospel, and you can't get much more obvious than Jesus today. He had just finished washing his apostles' feet, including Judas, the one who would betray him. And he literally says to them today, I am. Those words right there, that is Jesus literally saying, I am the burning bush. I am the one who spoke to Moses and gave you your law. I am God. Somehow I think we've forgotten that Jesus is God. Priests, pastors, nuns, Bible scholars, none of them are God. All of them are people, flawed and imperfect like us. But Jesus says that not everyone will know him. And he says that I have a place for those who I have chosen. The chosen people are the people who believe. He keeps spending this time trying to convince people. It's almost like a last-ditch effort, Like, this is it. I've done everything I can to bring you back home. I'm God. Believe in me. Follow me, trust me, struggle with me. It isn't going to be easy. It is going to be hard. There are going to be bumps along the way. People will mess up and they will try to destroy your faith. But I am God. I am, not the others. Me. History points to Jesus, and Jesus says it. You know, C.S. Lewis said that if Jesus isn't God, then he's a lunatic or a liar. And we know better than that. Liars don't generate that much excitement. And lunatics, well, nobody wants to be near them. Why then are we having so much trouble believing in God? That's the question. What will it take for us to believe He is Lord? Ultimately, at the end of the day, He gives us the choice to believe or not to believe. You know, if you force love, it's not love. Therefore, we have to choose it with an open and earnest heart. And it's not easy. And sometimes, yeah, do I sit there, like when, my brother died or my dad died, do I get angry and say, why, God? Sure, I do. The scandals, they're disgusting. And people always say to me, like, why do you believe in God when the Catholic Church does so many bad things? I'm like, they're not God, and I believe in hell. And I don't know if they go there or not, but I can't imagine anyone who would hurt a child, especially when Jesus said, whoever, hurts one of these little ones, better for them to like jump into a river. You know what I mean? I believe people are flawed, and I believe Satan is real. I believe that Jesus is real. And I struggle to pray sometimes because it's hard. And sometimes I cry. Sometimes I believe in him, but it's like I can't seem to trust all the time. It's like, God, please, but my anxiety gets the better of me and I just like flip out. There's, that just because all of this happens doesn't mean that I don't believe in him, because I do at the end of the day. I try very hard to align my life with him. And that means separate myself from people and sometimes lose friends. Yeah. Because he is the way, the truth, and the life. He said, I am. I'm God. I have no reason to doubt him. I look into this beautiful world, and I have been blessed to stand by oceans on different continents. Haiti, Ireland, America. I have stood on oceans in Mexico and South America, and I've climbed to the top of mountains. And you look at these awesome sights and you think there has to be a creator. But then you also reflect on the tiniest bug, a little gnat. And you think that he has all the complex organs that we have, different, but he has to breathe, he has to eat. And you think, wow, how amazing is this world? Sure, I can pinpoint who made my cell phone, but I can't pinpoint who made a mountain. So I believe in God. And I trust him, even if I'm scared, even if I'm anxious, even if sometimes my head and my heart don't want to settle down. I know there's one way into heaven, and it's Jesus. And I know Satan is attacking all the time. He attacks me constant. Sometimes he gets a point, sometimes I get a point. But at the end of the day, he can't steal my faith, for I love Jesus. I miss him. I'm not afraid. I've lost a brother and a father. I'm not afraid. One day, I will be reunited. And God willing, I will be Saint Stephanie, patron saint of sarcasm. Do you believe in God? I certainly hope you do, because I don't want to go to an empty heaven. I want it to be packed full of people who said, I'm willing to go through this struggle and be with you. I'm willing to align my life and try. God bless you all.